Like imagine I just got my money in and I'm a 75% favorite. That's amazing, right? Like 75% is huge. And I mean, if I were to tell you, you can put this amount of money with a 75% chance to win, you'd take that risk, right? Because it's a really great risk. What's going to happen 25% of the time? You lose. You made the right decision, but you lose. I can put my money in as a 95% favorite. If I told you, hey, do you want to go in on this 95% favorite? You'd be like, yeah, absolutely. Like, sign me up. 5% of the time, you're going to lose your money. And 5% is not zero. And that's so, so important to remember. And poker teaches you that. Poker really, really just drums those percentages into your heads, even though our brains are normally really, really bad at processing them. That's one of the reasons why I love it and why I recommend it as a teaching tool and why I actually think that poker should be taught in schools, because it's a really great way of learning to think probabilistically, which teaches the brain probabilities in the way that the brain knows how to learn, which is by doing and by experiencing and by sampling over and over and over. Because poker, you're playing thousands of hands. So you actually get to viscerally experience, what 1% feels like, what 2% feels like. And you know that that ain't zero, right? That's very, very real. And it happens much more frequently than you want. And so in that sense, it does make you kind of acknowledge chance and let go of control, because once your part is done, once you've made the right decision, once you've thought through everything and kind of done everything that is within your control, then you have to let go of the outcome, right? Then you have to just say, okay, whatever happens, happens. I don't control the next card. I don't control what comes off. My decision is made. I made the right decision. I have the data right here. I can see that I'm a favorite. My task is to keep being a favorite, right? To keep putting myself in a position to get lucky, because over time, then it will even out and I'll be lucky. But in this immediate moment, I might lose, and I have to make my peace with that as long as I thought correctly. Now, if you're on the wrong side, by the way, of that decision, if you were that 2% person who won, you have to rethink why you were in that situation. And even though it worked out correctly for you, you have to say, uh-oh, my process was wrong. I made the wrong decision. What did I think through incorrectly? What did I do wrong? How can I improve next time around?
Sure.
So harkening back, to what you said in the beginning, which is like, if you solve poker, you solve the world, or like you solve how to do your own life, right? What are the applicable lessons insofar as like, how would you describe what you've learned from poker to put yourself in a lucky position in life?
Well, I mean, I think that it just goes to every single decision that you make. How do you make those decisions? And it's a way of honing your thought process and of making sure that you're thinking correctly when it comes to making decisions that matter. Because at the poker table, every decision matters, but it's really, really hard. It's a lot of work, right? You're exhausted to be thinking like correctly every single time. That's true of life too. What am I having for lunch today? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't care, right? It's not a consequential decision. But at the end of the day, what poker teaches you is in those key moments where the decision matters, learn how to make your process optimal and how to keep improving that process. So I actually have decision diaries for when I'm making important choices, and I write down all the factors I'm considering. I weight them, like how important each one is. I give them probabilities and certainties, like, okay, I'm 50% sure of this, like I'm 75% sure of this. And then I try to figure out, like, how do I make this decision? And then I make it. But what it also does is it gives me a really lovely objective record of my thought process that after the decision happens, after the outcome is known, I can go back and see whether I thought correctly or not, because the outcome might have gone in my favor, but not for the reasons I thought. And the outcome might have gone against me. And in that case, I can say, okay, is it because I made the wrong decision, or is it because I got unlucky? And so the next time you can improve it over and over. So that's kind of the nitty gritty of how poker helps you every single day. And it helps you really understand probabilities.